Are you a fan of Gary V, of Gary Vaynerchuk? Well, guess what? Today is the big day. His newest book, Day Trading Attention, has just been released and we are on it. The first day it comes out, we're doing an entire show on how you can capture more attention. How can you use the principles of this book by one of the kings of social media and marketing and attention, and how do you apply it to your business? That is what we're talking about today on Iconic TV. So buckle up, grab your pens and papers, and get your credit card handy because you're going to want to order this book today after we get going on it. So if you guys are ready, give me a thumbs up. Let me know who's here. Let me know where you're coming from. I want to know where you're watching. If you are on YouTube, we have a brand new YouTube channel. Come over here or over here somewhere and click subscribe, and you will get all of the information that we have. We also have a giveaway for you, and we have a whole bunch of free things. We are going to do a drawing for somebody to get a free copy of this book. I'm going to show it to you. It is the real book. It is not an image. Okay. I want you guys to grab this. This is so powerful. This is not, how do I put it? This is not a fluff book. This is like a manual that you're going to use, and you're going to help yourself grow and scale your business, your brand, your sales through social media. And you're going to be amazed because the whole landscape is changing. Everything is actually changing right now with social media, and we want you to be prepared for it. We want you to be ready, and we don't want you falling behind. Okay. So if you have a business that you're trying to grow, get ready, because this is what we're going to go into right now: day trading attention. Okay, so let's get going. What is this all about? Day trading attention. If you think about it, where's the concept come from? If you think about day trading, like on the stock market, you're just looking for all these stocks, you're going into these different platforms and different markets to find what is the best thing for me to invest in. Well, we're going to do that today with social media. We're going to show you how this works, how you can benefit from it, because what we're talking about today is talking about overpriced and underpriced attention. With the landscape of social media and everything changing, a lot of people don't know where to go and what to do. And they're doing the old things that they have been doing. And guess what? It just doesn't work. So you have to understand what we're trying to do is focus on how do you get more attention that is underpriced, not overpriced. All right. Because if you don't know the strategies, the right place to go, how to do it, when to do it for your business, you're probably going to suffer from being overpriced in the market, and you're going to suffer from not getting the type of attention that you need. And attention is the number one thing that you have to focus on right now, not content for content's sake. How many of you are sick and tired of just creating content, and you're on this hamster wheel, and then you end up spending all of your time there creating content because that's what people tell you to do: be everywhere, put things out there, but you're never actually getting in front of your end buyer. It doesn't work. Okay. So what we have to do is distinguish and balance that out. How much content needs to be created by who, and where does it go? And how do you reuse that? How do you know when enough is enough? And how do you know when you're just not doing enough? All of that is what we're going to talk about. And so I want you to know that this is the book, okay, that we're talking about. If you want this book and you want to get it, this is not a link for me. This is where you can go to his site, garyv.com/attention, and go get a copy of the book. And you can get it in Audible or Kindle, and you can also get the physical copy. Now, what do I recommend? I usually get a Kindle, and then if I love a book, then I will go ahead and get the hardbound. And I just knew that I was going to love this. I got both. Okay. So I got the hardbound and the Kindle, and I'm probably using Audible credit on it as well. Okay. So just get at least one copy. And you know what? If you have somebody you're doing business with, get a copy for them too. I have no say in this as far as getting anything back. I'm just like to tell you guys, when there's something really good that comes out, the thing that you have to do is jump on it right away. How many things have you missed so far that you didn't jump on? Maybe you didn't get on TikTok. Maybe you didn't get on different platforms. Maybe you didn't buy a certain stock or get on a certain trend, or you still haven't even done videos, or you missed the podcast thing. All these things. Did you miss it? I'm just telling you. This is going to be like a manual. You're going to use this over and over. And I'm going to break this down for you so you can see at the end of this if you should even do this. So what's one of the things that Gary says is the ultimate is brand. Brand is the thing. Brand is right now. If you've been watching Iconic TV with us every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, you know we say this over and over and over and over. And this is what we do. We help you build iconic brands, whether it's a brand for your business or a brand that's personal. If you're in a business, or maybe you might switch your business, you have to develop an iconic brand for yourself and for your company. And it's also about attention. So he says attention moves like water. And when you're doing video, which is very important, the first second of video is life. It is life. Are people going to watch it? Whatever you say, you've got those 3 seconds, right? And we say that we have the attention of a goldfish. Well, how are you going to capture somebody's attention right away? What do you say in the first few seconds that makes sure that people are going to stick with you all the way to the end? Now, I want you guys to stick with me to the end because I've got some freebies and you can get a copy of this book. So if you want a copy of the book, all you have to do is be registered. You probably registered when you got here, or you make a comment. And so whoever has the most comments down here, we're going to put all your names in a drawing, and we're going to draw your name out and reach out to you and get you a copy of the book in whatever format you want. Okay. So go ahead, make sure you're making comments because you could be winning this book. Save yourself $40. Let me get it to you. Okay. Now, brand is everything. So let's take a look at this. There are going to be 4 parts of this book that he goes into. Now there's 6 sections, but the first 4 are all about what do you do, okay? In part 1, we're talking about the TikTokification of social media. Now this is a new word. It's probably going to catch on pretty quick. What does this mean in part 1, okay? Are you guys on TikTok? Do you know what that means? So TikTokification is that think about TikTok, how it has completely changed the social media game. And when you think back, it used to be Facebook that was the king. And then TikTok came along and they did something very different. They are focused on your interests. What are you like? I mean, you follow what? Maybe you're into design, or maybe you're into fashion or whatever, or fitness. And the algorithm is so amazing that it knows what you want and it'll continue to feed you that kind of content. Whereas Facebook started off where it was who you followed, like who are you interested in, who are they connected in, the 6 degrees of separation. But TikTok's algorithm now is something that makes people very, very addicted. Okay. And so what's happening is it's all about interest. What are people interested in? That's what the TikTokification means. Okay. Now in the book, he's going to go a lot more into it, but all of this is about organic. This is what we talk about here at the Iconic Brands, is that we want to take you and scale your business. And I can show you how to double your profits in 5 minutes, but without any marketing or ad spend, right? You don't have to spend more money on marketing or ads. And this is exactly what Gary's talking about, right? Strategic organic content, SOC. This is a part of the main theme that he has in here, okay? And what does that mean? Your organic content now is better than having your stuff on TV or creating your newsletters. It's even now better than email, better than your podcast. So why wouldn't you do it, right? It's organic. So that means this is all about the interests of people. We're going to tell you, how do you structure this? How do you create it? Okay. One of the first things that you want to do is you want to create content cohorts. Okay. Think of a cohort as like a group of people that get together and they have a similar interest, right? So what's that slice of the market that you can tap into? And this is all about consumer segmentation. How do you segment them? Is it based on their interest or the culture that they have? Can you segment on a problem, the outcome that they want? This is one of the most important things that you're going to want to do right now. And what this means is, remember the whole concept of a funnel, and you go at top of the funnel, right? Middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. And so what we're talking about is slices. All right. What's a slice of the market that you can really, really focus on? Okay. So you might be, let's say, in the fitness market and you are doing fitness for women, but what kind? Is it yoga? Is it intermittent fasting? Is it a certain diet thing? Right? How can you slice these up more and more and more? Maybe it's for men. Well, what kind of men? Maybe it's girl dads, right? And then you break that down, or stay-at-home dads. So how are you going to break down your market? How do you segment your content and talk to just that cohort? The more you can get really narrow on that, the better it's going to be. You're going to be able to dominate that market. So it's really, really key that you look at that. So the second part is modern advertising framework. And there are parts here. I'm going to show you this diagram here of what needs to happen here. And this is part 2. So let's go into this. Now, remember, this is actually a pickup of his original book. This is the original book. I don't have the cover on it. Jab, 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 right hook. Okay. This was awesome. Okay. And in this book, it was also like a manual, okay? But what he talks about is people were just trying to sell, 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 and that doesn't work. So it's like jab, 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 okay? You give them a little something, right? Think of a boxer, right? Jab, 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 okay? You give them something, something else, something else, something else, something else, and you keep feeding them information to help them along, and then right hook. And then you do the ask, okay? So this book is the continuation. It was going to be jab, 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 left hook, and then he changed it to day trading attention. And when you come in here, it is awesome because it has, again, everything in here, and you're going to have all the examples of what to do right, what to do wrong. And you can see these charts. I'm going to show you all these charts. These are the framework that you need to do. Okay. This is why I say go get the book, because it's going to be powerful. But if you're making a comment, put your comments in here. We're going to draw a name for the person who has contributed the most, and we're going to get you a copy of the book. Okay. So let's go on. We're on part 2 now of the 4 that we're going to cover. And what he talks about here is you can be branding or you can be selling, but don't do both at the same time in the same piece of content. Okay. Now, you could do both on your platforms, but don't do it in the same piece. Okay. So either you're talking it and you're selling an object, or you're doing a branding thing, but don't do the two and don't combine it. It won't work. So this is something that a lot of people get wrong, okay? When we are talking about that framework, another thing that you want to do is amplification, okay? So how do you make this grow? How do you take the content that you finally created and you're finally saying, okay, I think this is working. This is starting to reach my audience. Now we have to amplify it. Okay, just like we talk about authority amplification in your business, as you're building a brand, you need to amplify your authority. You also need to amplify your content. Is this making sense to you guys? Let me know in the comments. Give me some love. Give me some likes. I want you to get the book. It's so awesome. I've already read it twice. I read a couple books a week. It's an awesome book. Now, here's what happens. This is all about that TikTokification that we talked about, right? You're also, how else are you going to do that? Use some AI tools for your content. The other part of the amplification is just get it everywhere you can. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that. If you're wondering, I can't do that. I'm just little old me in business. That's okay. We're going to show you how to do this. But do organic, create it, right? Something new. What is it that's going to speak to your audience? And then use data to scale. That's the key. So a lot of people are putting things out and they just put things out, but they put out the same kind of stuff all the time. And they don't know if it's working. So what's that comment about, idiot doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result? No, you must use data. There's so much data out there right now. And if you are not doing it, you're missing 50% of the game. Okay. So here's how this whole framework looks, right? See, amplification is about spending your money, your time, and your attention on what's working, not the things that are just costing you money. If you don't know where to go, this is the framework, this is the process, it's all in the book. If you don't know where to go, how to do it, in what order, then you're going to misspend, and you're also going to miss closing more sales. So, here's something else that's a little tip for you in your amplification. How else can you get it out there? And so think about this concept: stream to the mundane. This is really interesting. And we did this actually yesterday. I do a workshop, and every Tuesday. And as I was preparing for it and setting it up, we just let the video stream and run. So what you're doing, people, for some weird reason, they like to just watch people doing the stuff they do all day long, and put it in your business, or if you're doing calls or whatever you're doing, just put the camera up and let it roll and let it go live, and people want to watch that. Okay, crazy stuff. But if you know your audience, then you can do that. Or how can you put yourself in a situation where sometimes you can just stream what you're doing? People are curious, like, who are you? What are you doing? Right? Don't hide behind a fake brand. Let them see you raw in action. And when you do this, don't play to the camera. Okay, you're just doing your thing. You're not just checking, and it's not like this, not like a live to the audience. Okay, this is just, they're flies on the wall. Okay, and you just live your life, and people want to watch for some reason. It sounds crazy, right? Would you do it? It could really work for you. Give me a thumbs up if that's something you would do. Um, just type mundane if you would. But if you want some tips, like, how can I amplify this? How do I use all this stuff here in Gary's book and apply it specifically to my business, to my brand, to my audience? Then just book a call with us. Go type callconnie.com. My team is going to put the comments down there, or you can just connect with me on whatever platform you're on watching this, and I'll hop on a quick call with you, 10-15 minutes, and we'll figure out what you actually need to do. We've been doing this for over 20 years, and what we do is, you know how you got into business and you want to have this amazing business, you want to change the world, do something incredible. And yet, as you got into it, you realized it was a lot harder. It's more frustrating. It's stressful. It's overwhelming. And you're not hitting the numbers that you want. So what we do is we take you from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less, without any of the stress, struggle, or overwhelm, and follow just 4 simple steps. And when you streamline everything and make it really simple, then it's very easy to get out of the headache of the 6-figure hustle and into the 7-figure freedom. Okay, so let's take a look at where we are on part 3. Okay, so in part 3, we're talking about core variables. What are the core things that you need to do to look at and really understand the nuances of social media so that you can expand your brand and elevate your sales? Sound good? Okay, now if you're just getting here and you want a recap of all of this and you would love like a takeaway piece, if you're not ready to buy the book, but you just like the notes and the highlights of what we're doing, just type hashtag highlights in any feed that you're on, or reach out to us and say, hey, can I get the cheat sheet, the notes of all of this? And with that, we will also give you the replay of the video so you can watch this again. And we're going to have a special site for this that you'll go to, and it's www.theiconicleader.com/attention. So that'll be coming up after we get off the air. Now, so if we're looking at the core fundamentals, here's something else that you're going to see in the book, which is awesome. And he has actually broken it down for today. Like, what are all of the different platforms? So you have to know your market. Who is that audience? And what is the best platform for you? And where are they? Okay. So you might not think that LinkedIn is your platform, but it might be. You might not think that TikTok is your platform, but it might be. Okay. It might be where more of your audience is. So what he did is he went through and he told you this is the descriptions. These are what happens on each of these platforms. This is where you're going to have the most influence with these kind of people. And then there's also a blank one, a worksheet in there for you to do it for yourself. Okay. But it's nice that he did all the work in advance. So you can say, oh, okay, based on I want this variable, these kind of people. And then it determines like what are you doing? Are you a long form content you like to write and have text-based posts? Do you like to have video? Do you like polls? Do you like carousels? Every little item, every possible way that you can post your media and your content is going to be on that chart. So this will be in our giveaway. So if you want those highlights of today's, just type highlights and we will get that for you. Okay. So one of the other things you want to understand, this is a real important concept to understand, is so many people in the past, what we just tried to do is like kind of, we were so in everybody's faces. Hi, nice to meet you. Buy my stuff, hop on a call, right? It was so in your face. And that kind of outbound selling is over. So what you're trying to do is get them to come inbound. You want people to come into you rather than you going out to chase them. And isn't that the way life should be, right? Where you're stationary, this is kind of the difference between a hunter and a fisherman, right? If you're hunting, you're going out there and you're trying to get everybody to come to you and you're going after your prey, right? You're following them. The other thing is what I call fly fishing, and where you can just stand there and put your line out and the fish come to you. That's the magic of what you can do right now. So this is the difference of inbound versus outbound. And how do you do that? How do you capitalize on it? First of all, you must know the data. Where are people going? What are they watching? How long are they watching it? What kind of content of yours do they like? What type of marketing do you need to do? How long does everything need to be? You've got to know the data, okay? And you have to know your audience to know what to market to them, okay? And then the brand. And again, as we started out the show, brand is everything. Absolutely everything. If you don't feel like you have a brand, if you are just another person in your field, you're another person in what we call a red ocean. Okay, if you know the blue ocean strategy, it's red ocean, blue ocean. If you have a sea of competitors, that's a red ocean, right? Lots of shark in the water. The water turns bloody. But if you are distinctive, if you're different, if you're ahead of the game, then you're in a blue ocean. You don't have a lot of competitors and you can own that market. So it's important to disrupt so that you can dominate. And that's the number 2 and number 3 of the 4 principles to get to 7 figures. And if you want that, if you're like, oh my gosh, this is taking so long, my business is going so slow, and you want to scale it to 7 figures, please book a call. We can hop on a call for 10 minutes. I can look at what you're doing, tell you where your strategy is, and then if you want to talk some more, we can. But that is the key. You want to get out of that red ocean of 6 and under 6 figures, and you need to get into the 7-figure plus market where it's easier to scale from 7 to 8 than it is from 0 to 6. Okay. It doesn't seem like it would be, but it is. So who out there would love a 7-figure business? If you would love a 7-figure business, just type 7 figures. And remember, we're giving away a copy of this book. And this is Gary Vee's brand new book. It came out today, giving a copy of it. It's awesome. I see these are the charts that I just showed you. Wow, I turned to that automatically. That's awesome. So I want you to understand how this works because it's going to make a world of difference in what you're doing. And guess what? Our whole company is doing this now. We are completely following these strategies. So watch what happens over the next year. Okay. And I will tell you as we go along what is working and what is not working, because I always believe that we should guinea pig things, right? We should be doing what we're teaching, not just talking about it. So we're going to do it. I encourage you to do it as well. Now, again, if you're not familiar with this book or anything, you can get that here. You can go to garyvee.com/attention and get both of his books, right? The Jab, 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 Right Hook. Now, that was 10 years ago. And this one is out now. They are both fabulous. I love to follow anything. He's one of the most prolific people on social media. So check him out if it's all new to you. It's, you need to follow not just influencers for the sake of influencing, but who are the thought leaders? And how else can you become a thought leader in your business if you are not following thought leaders? Okay. Don't just follow an influencer, follow thought leaders, people who really are in the game doing it and know what they're talking about. Okay. So remember, brand. All right. And this is the era of video. The power of video content is important. The things that you want to remember, it's a volume game. You need to be out there doing a lot of it. Shorts have changed the games. What's interesting, Facebook Reels are also becoming very much more important. I'm going to show you every platform, which ones you should be on, what they are known for, and why you should do that. Okay. But it's a volume game. Now, start where you are, but you want to focus on volume. You must know your messaging. You've got to be consistent. And one of the easiest ways to enhance the power of video marketing is to do collaborations and to connect with other people and get on their sites, and you get on have them on there, on yours, and you guys switch. So if you guys want to come on our show, our podcast, let me know. Okay. If you want to invite us on yours, let me know. This is the thing, right? How do you get yourself out there more and more and more? Those 4 things are going to be very important, because video is everything. If you're afraid of video, if you're like, I don't know if I can do it, I'm not confident, I'm not comfortable, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to structure it, I don't know the gear and all of that. We have a program on how you can build your own TV show, and just type #TV down below and we will get that to you, and it'll help you with the camera confidence and charisma and how to build your own show. It has the scripts and everything in it. It is awesome. Okay. But you need that now. It's just, it's an essential, right? It's no longer optional. So now, where do we go from that? Okay, here's another tip that you can use, just a little thing that's in there as you get into the back part. And this is part 5, actually, and he's giving you different ideas and how to do it. So think about green screens. Have you guys used green screens at all? We have some, and green screens are great because you can put the green screen up and then you have the image in the background. It might be a video view. It might be like, for example, I could have put a green screen up of the charts that he has in the background. You can take articles of somebody else that you're talking. You've probably seen this on TV or on a show where they're talking and then they put up the media behind them. That's what a green screen does, right? And again, you don't play to the camera as much. And again, like we talked about, just do your thing, live your life. What is it that you want to do? Make sure that you are actually telling people not just about you, but about their issue. What is their issue and how do they deal with it? Talk to them about that. Okay. Now let's go to the last one. And this is part 4. Okay. So part 4, this is the final part in this whole framework. This is what he calls POC. Okay. Platforms and culture. And so you want to know what is the platform you need to be on and what's the culture that you're dealing with. So look for what's timely. Okay. This is an example of platforms and culture. And we're on this platform and we're talking about the current hottest thing, which right now is the release of this book. Okay. And you want to kind of compare and contrast, like it used to be this way and now it's this way. You can use supporting culture. You need to know what the culture is doing, what they're interested in, what they're talking about, but understand the platform, everything about it. How do they operate? Which media works best on which platform? And then segment your culture and how can you talk to them? Okay, that's what that means. There's a lot of sections on that in the book. So I would love for you to get that book and see how that goes. Okay. And Now, again, go get either one. They're both good, okay? But let's move on. If you want to know, how do I do this? How can I actually put it into play? I would love to invite you to our free workshop where we actually put all of this marketing and branding and strategy and process out there. We look at the branding, the social media, the data, the AI, the lead gen. How do you get more people? How do you make more profit? And we do this workshop on Tuesdays. So if you would love to come, it is live. You can come in person, get out of your pajama bottoms, go to theiconicworkshop.com, theiconicworkshop.com, and you can get all of these strategies and network with other people, come in, have breakfast. We will feed you, cost nothing. Why are we doing this? Because I'm on a mission to teach 500 business owners how to actually grow their business and have more profits in their business without spending more money. I believe that $1 million business is the starting point, not the destination. If you had $1 million that was coming in and you could produce $1 million in profit every year, what would that do for your life? You probably find that, wow, you're a lot freer. And when you have that freedom, you have the power of choice. And I always say that's what the money does. It gives you the power of choice so that you don't have to worry about answering to anybody else. You decide. It's not, I don't know if I can do this or this. I can do whatever I choose. So that's the starting point of having that kind of power and that kind of choice. And that's what we really, really want you to have. Okay. Now, so come to the workshop, theiconicworkshop.com. You can go there right now. You can RSVP. Now, some of you might not be here in San Diego where I live. So I will do once a month, I will do a masterclass, and I'll do it for the people that aren't live and can't come, but I'd love to meet you in person. Okay. Do the same thing, but I will do it virtually. So if you want to come to the virtual one, let us know. Just type virtual. And if you just want to say, hey, I don't need a whole sales pitch. We don't want to do that. Just talk on the phone for 10, 15 minutes and just go to callconnie.com, callconnie.com, or you can go to our website, Iconic Business Advisors. Iconic Business Advisors is our website. So let's summarize everything that we've talked about here. Okay. I want you to remember, people are asking this. Where's the place and the future of AI? And he does go into this in the book. Okay. So the thing about AI is you have to adjust to the reality of the game. Hey, it's here. Now, how do you deal with it? Just because it's there doesn't mean you only lean on that. You still have to understand the sentiment of your audience, but it creates so many opportunities for you. Okay. To especially from the amplification that we talked about. And if you really want to get out there a lot more, AI is going to play a significant part in this. Even though that content is organic, right? You still can utilize a lot of this. In fact, we were just watching these videos in our training, and these are people who are actually humans trying to look like AI. Gosh, it's crazy. But you know what? These videos were getting 20 million views. So what does that person do right? They understand the market and they understand the platform. And then they understand how to do it strategically, organically. And guess what? They weren't selling anything. Okay. So kind of makes you go, right? What can I do? If people can do that, and those were just with makeup, 20 million views. Okay. Surely we're missing something, right? All right. Okay, so I want you to understand there's AI, but let's look at a summary of all of these, okay? And we had LinkedIn is in there. LinkedIn is what he calls an organic gold mine, and I totally agree. Facebook is still the biggest and the most underestimated. Most people have turned their back on it, and he says people are underestimating its power. It is still the largest, and there's a shift going on there. Guess what is going to be the big organic over there? Is the Facebook fan pages again. And when you think about cohorts, that's where the groups come in. There's still a lot there, and you're going to be pretty surprised at how that is actually on the rise again. And now the other thing is TikTok. That's the the best and the most envied algorithm. Everybody is trying to copy. All the big players are trying to copy what they did, how they doubled their user base. I mean, we're talking millions and millions, and doubled that in just 2 years. Unheard of. Okay. YouTube, the most advanced analytics. Anything you want to know about what your audience is doing so that you can repeat it, right? You don't want to put anything out there paid until you know what works organically. So YouTube has the best analytics, and then Instagram, that's what oh, I'm sorry, I put that in the wrong place. Instagram is really great at knowing what people want. It's also great if you're e-com. And then X, Twitter, is the water cooler. And if you guys remember a Vine, that's a video platform. Well, Twitter bought that. And so Elon Musk said the other day, hey, Vine, maybe we should bring that out again. What would that do for the different places that you could go? There's so many others out there. And, you know, I didn't talk about Snapchat and some of these other things. There's a lot of places you can go. So what do you do? What is, excuse me, what is the strategy that you want? Because does it feel a little bit overwhelming? Especially if you have a small company or you're a solopreneur. Well, here's what you're going to need if you really want to, you know, take the full advantage of this. Who do you need on your team? Well, you're going to need a videographer, a copywriter, a designer, and a paid media specialist. Those are the 4 key players that would be on your team to really max this out. But if you don't have that, you can actually start small. Okay. And start where you are. We always like to say, start with one thing. What is your singular focus? And so using the SOAR formula, which is how we grow 7-figure businesses, this is what you want to look at. Okay. The final solution. So singularity is the concept you want to think about. What is the one thing that I need to talk about? Who is my target, right? Who's my cohort that I'm going after? What is their problem? What is the outcome they want? What is the singular solution that I have for them? Okay. And then what can you take ownership of? Where can you start? Where can you start putting this out? How can you get involved in this content? And how are you going to decide which platforms? How are you going to build your team? The appreciation is all about the amplification. Once you know where you're going and what you're going to say, what you're going to put out there, really owning your brand, then how do you grow it? How do you have massive appreciation in your brand and in your sales? And then rest, right? You have to stop and look back and reflect and renew and recharge and say, okay, now look at the analytics, look at the data, and then what do you put into play? Okay. So if you got some value out of this, give me a thumbs up, give me some feedback, let me know. Please subscribe to my channel or join our group, The Iconic Entrepreneur, or book a call at callconnie.com. And of course, I highly recommend you get a copy of Gary's book because it is awesome. Those of you who contributed most in comments, we're going to go through, we're going to get back with you for whatever you need. If you want the replay and the freebie, somebody is going to get a copy of this book. So I hope you enjoyed this. Over the next coming weeks, we're going to continue and really dive deep and give you more and more ways of how to do this, how to apply it to your business so that you are not left behind. So come back every Tuesday, Iconic TV Live at 5 Pacific, and we'll see you next week.